Hey guys, it's Sebastian back with another video for you today at Esxence in Milan, Italy. I'm here at the Goldfield and Banks booth and I have Dimitri Weber. He's going to discuss with you the brand and how it got started. So please stay tuned.
Hi, my name is Dimitri Weber. Based in Sydney. I am French, Belgian, moved to Australia 5 years ago and discovered this beautiful country and its botanical richness, and all of this inspired me to create Goldfield and Banks, which saw the daylight 17 months ago. We have a fragrance brand that is absolutely unique because we work with different raw materials that the market offers. We work with a lot of native Australian ingredients, blended obviously with a lot of international ingredients. We have different types of sandalwoods. We have different types of other species of wood, such as Buddha wood oil, which is a native from Australia. We have Australian blue cypress oil. We use different flowers that are native. We also grow in Australia our own jasmine. We have our own gardenia. We have local mint. We have local pepper. So we have lots of ingredients that are very interesting and that all smell very exotic. So each fragrance of Goldfield and Banks features one iconic Australian ingredient that is a native. So one of the first fragrances that we launched in November 2016 is Desert Rosewood. And Desert Rosewood is a fragrance, as you can tell by the color. It's a fragrance that is actually based on a native ingredient called Buddha wood oil, as I mentioned before, or Desert Rosewood. It's a very earthy, very resinous, extremely leathery, lush oriental fragrance, obviously blend with a dash of vanilla from the Comoros Islands, amber and some incense. The fragrance is absolutely gender neutral. It's a rich fragrance, it's an opulent fragrance. The longevity is absolutely amazing. The hotter it gets, the warmer your skin, the longer the fragrance will last on your skin. So this is a bit of a contradictory, because usually when it gets hot and you're sweaty, the fragrances don't last that long on your skin. Well, with our fragrances, they are completely conceived and made specifically for warmer regions, if you want. And this is what makes the fragrance and the collection absolutely unique. So you can wear the fragrances in cold countries, but especially also in warm countries. A second fragrance that we have is called White Sandalwood, and I think that today everybody knows that a lot of Australian sandalwood is used in most of the fragrances that we find on the market today. So we have used a fragrance based on a specific sandalwood, which is called the Santalum spicatum, which is a quality of sandalwood that is a little more spicy, a little more dry, very sexy in a way, although I don't really like to use the word sexy, but it's a very dry, very sophisticated and extremely rich ingredient, blended with some beautiful Turkish rose and some saffron and some amber, which makes this fragrance absolutely very earthy and in a way very Australian and very exotic. And you can tell by the color of the fragrance, it reminds us of the sand dunes. It's hot, it's very solar or sunny, or however you call it. So these fragrances, like all other fragrances of the collection, are absolutely woody. So even though we have fresh fragrances, they are absolutely woody. One other fragrance, so we have Blue Cypress, which is a fragrance based on another Australian native ingredient, which is called the Australian Blue Cypress. And Australian Blue Cypress is very smoky, very misty, extremely clean, which gives this fragrance a very classic touch. It's a classic fragrance, it's a gender neutral fragrance, and at the same time very aromatic, very fougere, mineral. For people that know fougere fragrance, it's a mineral, slightly aquatic scent, but at the same time plain, crisp, the morning dew, eucalyptic forests. That's what its fragrance is actually all about forests, about green, about aromatics. Our fourth fragrance and our most popular fragrance is definitely Pacific Rock Moss. Pacific Rock Moss is a fragrance that I have created together with my perfumer in Melbourne, and we have been talking about this fragrance quite a lot before we actually started creating this fragrance. It took us actually 15 months to come up with the final formula. What is so special about Pacific Rock Moss? It's a marine scent, it's an aquatic scent, but we didn't want to use the classic ozonic notes that we usually find in aquatic fragrances. So we didn't want to use any of those ozonic notes. There is no cologne in the fragrance, there are no ozonic notes, but pure, beautiful, natural ingredients such as sage and geranium, blended with some beautiful lemon from Italy. We have a coastal moss accord, which is something that we have developed specifically for the fragrance. And even today, this is the second day of the fair, people come to discover this fragrance that everybody is talking about, and people go like, well, now we understand why this fragrance is such a hype, because it smells different. It's not the classic aquatic fragrance, it has a lot more warm notes, because obviously we also added a little bit of amber in the fragrance just to make the fragrance smell a little more warm, and especially to make it long lasting. It's very personal. Obviously a fragrance can last up to 22 hours to 24 hours, but it can also last only a few hours depending on the skin. But one thing I can tell you is that the warmer it gets, the warmer your body, the warmer your skin, the longer this fragrance will last. You will enjoy this fragrance, people around you will compliment you on the fragrance, and it's a true joy and it's a pleasure to wear the fragrance, just like any other of the fragrances that I have created. It's a brand that you will purchase for pleasure, not necessarily for seduction. Although some people say that this fragrance is sexy, well, it's totally up to you. It's very personal. My partner wears it. I think it smells amazing on him. It smells very sexy on him. So I think it's going to be very different for everybody. So Pacific Rock Moss, aquatic, marine, honey-like, beautiful woody base, which secures the longevity of the fragrance. And then the last fragrance, the one that we had just released, is called Wood Infusion. Wood Infusion is a celebration. It's a rainbow of woods. It's a celebration of woods. It's a fragrance inspired by a very specific island next to Queensland, which is called Fraser Island. It's the biggest sand island in the world. You find the most amazing, the oldest trees in the world. It's a fragrance that smells very green. It's extremely tropical because it's hot. We have a lot of sandalwood, we have a lot of patchouli. We have blended this fragrance with some iris and lavender to give it a very dry touch. But we also have one particular ingredient in this fragrance which makes this fragrance absolutely addictive, which is agarwood. And a lot of people will say, well, what's the relation between Australia and agarwood? Well, I'll tell you, agarwood or oud wood has been brought into Australia in 1850 by the Afghani people that built the railway in Australia, connecting Darwin to the south of the country. And so they brought the camels in the country, but also the use of agarwood or oud wood. So today we also find in the northern territories of Australia a small production of agarwood, so it made completely sense to us to add agarwood into our Australian fragrances. So another fragrance that we will launch in a few months, a long-awaited fragrance, which will feature some beautiful, natural, real Boronia flower. And Boronia, together with Iris, is the most expensive flower, or the most expensive essence in our industry. We're talking about $10,000 a kilo essence, so we will have a very small production. So I would say stay tuned, and we'll see each other again in September for some more information on this new fragrance, which will feature this iconic ingredient, this iconic flower, which is called Boronia by Goldfield and Banks.
Thanks so much for watching this video. If you have any questions or comments, please list below. Otherwise, please like this video, please share it, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.